Hello everybody, I'm doing another one of the videos out in the front area here because there's too much going on inside there, and holding the phone. I still have to get myself a selfie stick. But anyway, I'm Sue Ann Okerwall, another Course in Miracles video, and this time I'm going to be doing who your brother is to you. So we're going to take it from this idea of who your brother is to you and how you see your brother is imperative is all throughout the book. But I'm just going to utilize page 1 introduction manual for teachers here that says, the purpose of the course might be said to provide you with a means of choosing what you want to teach based on what you want to learn. Then in paragraph 3, it says, the curriculum you set up is therefore determined exclusively by what you think you are and what you believe the relationship of others is to you. Now, I'm not going to quote the parts in the book that discuss how that we make a story about ourselves, and then we also make a story about all the people in our lives. And it is a dream and it's an illusion that's occurring in a split part of the mind that has decided to try to do something different that would be outside of God, although that would be absolutely impossible because God is pure oneness. So this is all just imaginary, but we think it's happening. So when you make up stories about yourself, so this is a projection, like a movie that was filmed long, long ago. And we are, we picked a character. So I picked a Sue Ann, and she had already planned out, already set, already filmed, already written that she had certain things happen in her life, and she would make certain decisions. And I mean, even in every moment that this would be occurring. So then she sees all these other characters. So it's similar to, like, you know, we pick up a novel, let's say. And I know not everybody would be into reading novels, but let's just say, you know, you picked up a novel and it has 4 or 5 characters in it, let's just say, and you're thinking about the other characters. So you're drawing conclusions about even what was written in there. You're drawing conclusions about the main character, which is like the one that you're calling yourself, and you are drawing conclusions about the other characters that are interacting with the main character. So whether it's written in first person or it's written in third person, you know, whatever, you are, hopefully you're getting really into the story. Otherwise you put it down. But if it's a really good story, you lose yourself in it. And you can even sit down upon an evening for a couple hours and just completely forget time, completely forget that you're the Sue Ann character or whatever your name of the character is. And you become the other characters that are in this book. So it's very much like that. So we're actually somewhere else. We're in the right mind that never did split. But then it's as if a decision was made to split off a part of itself. And then that part felt so awful, it had to project out into a world, into a body, a personality, and everything, all the other characters, a world that would hold this guilt and get it out of the mind as if it could. So it's as if you know, that ideas can leave their source. And of course, one of the main principles of the course is that ideas can't leave their source. So of course, we never left the mind of God, and we're still at home there, just dreaming of an exile. So now who you see your brother as. So, okay, once you get an idea of that you are not your thoughts, by looking at your thoughts through the forgiveness process, which I talk about, you begin to see that that you are just a set of, like, all this matrix of a setup of a personality. And it is actually like an automaton. It's automatic. You can even just sit back and watch it happening. It's rare for people to be able to do that, but to be able to just watch it play out and have really nothing to do with it. Okay, then these stories that we believe about ourselves, then we go over the stories and we will have moments of depression and upset and regret and guilt and or lost love, or on and on and on, right? For different things that we'll remember about our stories that were from the past. I'll put the book down over here. And So with all these stories running through our head, we are also making up stories about other people. So sometimes I have tried to be other people, and of course I've made stories about them, and I was never seeing them at all. So all these stories, the Holy Spirit overlooks all of them. So if we go and we say, hey, I'm feeling really depressed, please take my depression from me, I don't want it anymore. He was basically going to say that he didn't make the depression. He doesn't even believe in the depression. Only a split part of the mind seems to be believing in it and made it. So you yourself have to unmake it. And that's that beautiful workbook line that, I rule my mind, which I alone must rule. I mean, what a huge amount of great power that we have. So as we're looking at our quote unquote brother, sister, it doesn't matter if it's what gender you call it, but you're just looking at the otherness, and you make up stories about these, and these are actually reflections of your own mind. That's why they call it mirroring, right? So it's a reflection of what is in your mind. As it says, another great course line is that the world is an outside projection of an inward condition. So however we're seeing ourselves, we are going to be demonstrating, and that talks about that on page 1, Introduction Manual for Teachers. It talks about how we're always demonstrating which thought system we're using. So typically, we just always stay as the character, and that's a big point to make as well. A lot of people think that they are themselves and that they move in and out of the character as if it's sort of like this Satan thing that came along and then grabbed them at times, and other times they're spiritual. But I would have to beg to differ and say that we are always thinking we're a character. If we think we're a body here, it's sitting next to a house with a lawn and a tree and a road, and we have hair and a shirt, then, okay, that's the character. We never go into spirituality because there's no life outside of heaven. And like I said, heaven doesn't know anything about this because it can't have anything that splits off and has opposites and has time and space. So all of this is, imaginary. Hallucination, right? So anyway, we then hallucinate what we want the characters around us to be like. So if we want them to hurt us, we want them to love us, we want them to love us and then hate us and then love us again. We want them to go away. We want them to come over. We want them to listen to us. We want them to not listen to us. All the different variations of different kinds of things that you could explore, as a character. So, and none of those things are them either. Of course, we know there's like one mind. So there's this one mind that's split into a gazillion pieces, like all these great rays went out to the very pinpoint end of a projection. And then that's where we find ourselves in physicality, as if it's true. So when you see your own stories, what you do is you say, oh, I'm telling a story about myself again. And you would stop right away and not go deep into it and spiral down into, like we all know we do, where we get more and more upset and we bring in more and more thoughts that have a bias to confirm what we're already thinking that came with the first thought. So if you stop it right away and realize you are the mind, the looker who is observing the thoughts, okay, now you've returned yourself to your right mind. So we do the same with quote unquote others, what like I said, the Course calls our brothers. So we then see them as we see ourselves. And so as one notices that, oh, I'm making a story about a brother, this one doesn't like me, or this one is ignoring me, or this one forgot to make dinner, or this one is going to go mow the lawn for me, and it's all for me, and we're very, very self-centered. So we're thinking about all these people just in terms of what we can get. So these are the stories. Same thing. As soon as you start making a story about a brother, just stop it right away. Go back in the mind and realize that you are making that story, and you're the one that was observing as if the story was true. And you'll be surprised because even your own vision will change, and all the outside world will begin to look almost like seamless, like it doesn't have divisions and stops and ends. And then you can actually look and notice that you'll see a human, and everything will be all one like background, almost like you're seeing, and you'll notice how your own thoughts have to make that thing stand out from the couch and the pillow and the wall and call it something different than the rest. And that is kind of how our mind works. Oh man, I just hit 10 minutes. Okay, we're done. Bye-bye.